Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 20 career mode, and here we are then for the start of the second season in MotoGP. So as you can see, we're still at the end of the first one, so we've got a few things to sort out. So let's go and try and look at some contracts then. Who is interested? So everybody except... Okay, my current team is not interested. Oh, it's because I've already got a contract with them, and I need to just say yes or no to it, so that's why I can't sign for them. But then MotoGP Yamaha are still not interested, Mission Winnow Ducati are still not interested, and the Repsol Honda team still aren't interested. So that's a little bit weird. You would have thought they would have been quite interested and they would have definitely wanted me. Especially since I am the champion, of course. So if we have a look at some of these bikes, then their max performances aren't that great. Obviously the Aprilia actually has apparently the performance max if you fully upgrade it. Same with the factory KTM, the factory Suzuki. I'm guessing our KTM is the same as well. Actually, no, our KTM has a limit then on our max, and we actually weren't at that yet. So our performance actually was still lower than the bikes we're battling. So we could actually have a much better bike and be much faster this season if we decide to go for that. So obviously the Petronas Yamaha, that's got a maximum on it as well, like quite a low maximum. Same with the Pramac. I'm guessing that it's just the satellite teams that don't have the full potential of the factory teams. So I feel like for now, Suzuki's probably our best bet to sign for. We've got 10 weeks left. It could also change. These teams might become interested in a little bit longer if we fast forward a little bit more. So we'll advance forward a couple more weeks then. So at the end of that week, we've got a notification, proposals received. So Suzuki are actually interested. So if we look at that, then the annual salary, 2.5 million. The GP gold bonus, so 31,500. Championship goal bonus is 884k. And they want me top 3. They want qualifying second row, and they want 2 seasons from me there then. So still nothing else from any of the even better teams. They're still not asked for a contract or anything like that. I might have a look at the Moto2 and Moto3 Junior teams as well. So if we're looking at our money, we've got 830k nearly. So I think I'm going to set up a Moto3 Junior team here. And then, provided that I then have enough money after that, I might go and set up a Moto2 Junior team. But I don't think I'm really going to have that much money. I think it probably costs a couple million to sort it all out. So if we set up a Moto3 Junior team, then we've got the options for some team managers here. So I actually don't know what all these different stats mean. So this one, 10 years of experience in the MotoGP world, good at getting very advantageous economic offers from sponsors. So that must be the one on the left-hand side then. This one's 10 years of experience and a high degree of competence. Specialise in increasing the visibility and prestige of the team and riders. So that must be the one on the right-hand side then. Yeah, because it's the same for this guy as well. Lucas Wagner, or it's probably Wagner actually, isn't it? He's Austrian. So yeah, he's got the advantageous economic offers from sponsors. And this one is skillful in managing the rider market and seeking out new talents. That must be the one in the middle. So some of them are way more expensive than others if we have a look at the annual salaries. So Lucas Wagner actually is the cheapest one. But I want to go for... I might go for Nicole Bianchi then, the Swiss person. Just purely because they've got the best at getting us the best sponsors. So that's what I'll go with. So I'll accept that then. Oh, okay, hang on. We've got a lot of stuff here. So yeah, if we look at the annual, that is more than I've actually got. So that's kind of an issue. So sponsorship offers then, let's have a look at this. So we've got the Husqvarna then, and we've also got the Hertz KTM. Well, there's not really much difference between the two. They're the same bike. So quite why there's such a difference, I don't know. The Honda GP Pro team. Obviously we went with DHL Honda, so I might go back to that. Obviously that's what I've got as our first championship, because I can actually see that is an option at the end. So this Husqvarna team then, they want top 5s in the race and championship. They want second row starts. So they basically want top 5s, or you know, it's a top 6 in qualifying I suppose technically, but they just want top 5s really, and they want A++ riders. Then in this KTM Hertz team, then they want top 10s basically, because you know, third row that's top 9, so it's basically still a top 10. So they're 3 million, the economic agreement there. In fact, they're both about 3 million, so it's actually, it might be better off going for the KTM Hertz team so far. So we'll look at the GoPro Honda team then. That's very, very, very similar to the previous one. It's just slightly more expensive to loan the bikes and a slightly more expensive contract. So I think, yeah, the Honda GoPro will get us more money overall. It is obviously, it pays more for the bikes, but if we do well, we'll get more money. If we look at the Husqvarna My World, it's a different Husqvarna team then. This one, top 15, 4th row. Yeah, not so good this one then. 2.4 million, so a lot less. But what's the... Yeah, and the rental is the same for the bikes, so that's quite interesting. So obviously 20,000, 400,000, because I guess you're loaning them from KTM or Husqvarna, I suppose, technically. And then the DHL Honda team then. The recommended riders for that are C grade. 2.4 million, race goals top 15, qualifying goals 4th row. The team prestige is not that high, even though we won the championship with them before. But that's actually the most expensive bike so far. So the Hondas are the most expensive. So to be honest, I think the Husqvarna Tissot here is probably the best one to go for. But we've got to afford better riders for that team. That's the only problem. So that we can actually get the goals. So this is going to be hard. I'm going to go with my heart. We're going to go with DHL Honda, then we'll sign that. So far we've really not got good expenditures. We're not going to be able to afford this at the minute. But I suppose we don't have to pay it all up front. So we probably will just be able to sign up. So look at the technical director then. Who we got to sign for this? So these are basically the technical staff then, like we've got before. So we can sign someone decent. So A++ here. Specialise in pit staff management. This will specialise in frame development. Specialise in engine development. Well, we know that engine is probably the most important thing for Moto3, so I am actually leaning towards Gabrielle here. Clara O'Connor. Specialise in pit staff management. So that's just for the setup and stuff. Oh, frame management. That is good. That is good on the frame. And Mario Navarro then. Specialise on electronics. Well, that doesn't really matter. I don't even think you can do the electronics in Moto3 if I remember correctly. So I think I am going to go with this Gabrielle Coys, if that's how it's pronounced, or Coy. And then let's have a look at the riders then. Now quite what's going on with the names here, I'm not too sure, because we've got Pilot 02, Pilot 21, Pilot 14, and Pilot 6. Now that might be a problem on my part there using a mod or something, so I don't think that's a bug in the game. Yeah, our rider abilities, not so great so far. So this first one then, the affinity is 68 in Moto2, 65 in Moto3 apparently, 50 racing performance, 45 in qualifying races, 48 in reliability, 53 in bike development. So I think this person here, whatever their name is, Pilot 02, probably quite a good rider to have because they're a good test rider as well. They're capable of scoring points, specialising in guiding the mechanics. Previous experience in European single brand championships, and they're going to perform well at home. Obviously they're British as well, so that's always a plus. It allows you to work a bit better with the team. I mean, I know it's a game, it's not quite the same, but you know, if you've got a similar culture, sometimes you can get on with the team a little bit better. So we'll go for this one then, and then we need a second rider. If we look at all the stats, this person again is the second best, is C+, so I'm just going to go with that. So unfortunately for Pilot 14 and 6, I'm not hiring them. So that's who we've got so far. So the income is 1.8 million and the annual spending is 1.6 million. So we're going to not really gain much money from that. 200k we're actually going to gain from that team, but at least it'll be positive. And that's if we actually do well. So I'm guessing we're probably going to lose a little bit of money, but it's not the end of the world then. So we'll confirm team setup for next year. Enter. Oh, I get to call it. Oh yeah, of course I get the name. So I was going to call it like Biker Racing DHL Honda, but I can literally only fit in Biker Racing. So you're about to officially form your team. If you accept, your team will begin to race in Moto3 next year. You will also receive upfront payment from sponsors to pay your staff, but salaries will only be paid starting next season. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, we'll go for that then. So we've just gained a lot of money from the sponsors there. 1.1 million we've now got. And that's before we actually get paid for next year. So we probably actually will be alright with that, because we're still going to get paid by our team. I don't think I'm going to go into setting up a Moto2 team. I think we'll just do Moto3 for this season so far anyway. So there we go then, that's who we've got. I'll try and fix the rider recruitment stuff. Obviously it's a bit broken because of a mod I've got on right now, so that is obviously my bad. So I'll keep advancing forward anyway, just to see if any other teams get interested. So we'll look at the technical staff then. We've got one. Oh, that is good. Aerodynamics 100, but to be honest, the aerodynamics aren't a big deal, so I'm not really that interested. But we actually should have a look at maybe signing these people now. So if we have a look at who we've got currently, so we lose on the electronics, but we gain on the engine. So I'm going to sign this. So Matteo Gomez, signing you, mate. So we've finally got rid of Isabella Ferreira, who we've had all the way since Moto3 because of a glitch. Right, so if we have a look at Alexander Marble then, this Paul Jefferson, quite a bit worse on the frame, a little bit better on the engine. So actually I'm not going to sign that. I'm going to keep Alexander Marble in there. We look at the contract, so still not interested then, any of these teams. So then we're on the last week of the year, and if we have a look, those factory teams are still not interested. Obviously, I about had a heart attack then when I saw that Suzuki weren't interested, because I was like, oh no, have I taken too long to sign? But then I realised it's because I can't apply to them when I've already applied. So for some reason Repsol Honda, Michelin, Ducati and Monster Energy Yamaha are not interested even after I've won the World Championship. So I am going to sign on the dotted line here for Suzuki. We're going to accept this contract, and there we go, we're now a factory Suzuki rider for this next season. So let's head straight into the next season. So then for my junior team, I've kind of recreated the colour that I used to use in Moto3. I can't remember exactly what it looked like, but it was similar to this, and I changed one of the riders' helmets to... Well, I changed it to an X-Lite, but actually I might just keep them both as showy, but just a different one, because otherwise it's kind of difficult to tell them apart. So there we go. So they've got two different showy helmets now, so they don't look exactly the same on track, otherwise I wouldn't have really been able to tell them apart, I don't think, that easily. So we'll head into the next season now, definitely confirmed. So here's the showroom event for the Suzuki team then. Myself, Joan Mir and Alex Rins forming up to try and take the team's championship here in MotoGP. And obviously I'll be aiming for the Riders' Championship again. And here is our DHL Honda Moto3 team, looking quite nice. Obviously myself managing the team that once took me to the Moto3 World Championship. It is nice to see those colours once again. So I've just been paid a lot of money there then by Suzuki. I think I'd already got all the sponsorship money. Can we do bike development for my team then here in MotoGP? Well, there is a lot more stuff to do than there was on the KTM, I tell you that. So we've already got a couple of engine upgrades, we've got one frame upgrade, well actually you don't have to start with anything, so we've got one frame upgrade, then we've got one aero upgrade already. We haven't got enough aero research data, of course. So I think we'll just leave all the people like that for now. So we'll have to advance, but we'll head into the winter tests in not too much time, I'm sure. So on week 4 then we've got a notification on technical staff, a new person applying, an electronics person, but we'll leave them for now because we don't really need that too much. So can we afford any upgrades now? So we still can't afford anything on the aero. Can we afford anything on the frame? No, we can't. Can we afford anything on here? No, we can't. What about the electronics? No, so everything's very, very expensive on the Suzuki. We can't afford anything so far. So another notification on technical staff, another data analyst again. So people really wanting this job of data analyst now. Isabella Ferrari is finally out of it. So actually a little bit better on the electronics, a little bit worse on the engine, so we'll just refuse for now. I'll refuse this guy as well, this Igor guy. So then the next thing to do is to head into the winter test, but first things first, I think we should look at something quite important. So the rider lineup for this season then. There has been some shake-ups since the last episode, of course, obviously going into what will be 2021, I suppose, in the game world. So Marc Marquez staying with Repsol Honda, but his brother being moved aside, maybe partially because of him taking him out in the last race, but I think it might have been a done deal anyway. But Pol Espargaro moving alongside Marc Marquez then in that Repsol Honda team. And then also there's a change in the factory Ducati team with Andrea Dovizioso staying put where he is, but Jack Miller moving alongside him then. Fabio Quartararo takes Valentino Rossi's place in the factory Yamaha team alongside Maverick Vinales. Suzuki saying the same, obviously, except the fact that I'm signing with them instead. Our former teammate Miguel Oliveira taking Pol Espargaro's ride at the factory KTM team alongside Brad Binder. So keep an eye out for those guys this season. Obviously, we did a lot of upgrade work on that bike at the end of the season. Both those riders are phenomenal riders, so do watch out for them in this season. In Aprilia, then Aleix Espargaro staying put, but Cal Crutchlow being forced out of LCR Honda in exchange for Alex Marquez has found refuge then in the Aprilia team. Obviously, as mentioned before, Valentino Rossi losing his seat at the factory Yamaha team. Not having a great season, bless him, in the last one, but he is partnered up with his good friend and protege Franco Morbidelli in the Petronas Yamaha squad. Francesco Bagnaia then still staying put in Pramac, but now being the number 1 rider ahead of Jorge Martin, who moves up from Moto2 to take Jack Miller's vacant seat on that Desmodici, or Desmodici, I think that might be how it's pronounced. I don't know why I always try and say it because I can't. But obviously, as mentioned already, Alex Marquez taking Cal Crutchlow's seat in the LCR Honda team alongside Takaki Nakagami, still Nakagami not moving at all. Iker Lecuona staying put in the Tech 3 KTM team, but becoming the number 1 rider as Danilo Petrucci, obviously displaced from the factory Ducati team, moves over to the Tech 3 team. It was actually thought that he would probably move to the KTM factory team, but actually he's moved to the satellite team. And Avintia, there is absolutely no change there, and then of course there's just myself But that's the rundown of the Teams Championship. As you can see, we've got a mod on for the pictures as well. Not made by me, it's made by Nonox, a good friend of mine. It will be in the next update of Project 20, but I do want to thank him for letting me use the pictures, or use the mod and put it in Project 20 as well. So I'm just showing it off here because I've got it installed. So the riders will be in their old team kit and stuff, but I might go through and change that at some point, maybe with some 3D renders or something like that. But for now, that is the lineup then for this season. So I'm guessing we still can't do any R&D, we've still not got enough points. Hopefully we will. Oh, actually we can put a frame upgrade, so I am going to put some stuff on here. We'll put the best frame people on here. Apparently it's going to take 40 weeks, but we definitely need to try and put some more frame people on here. It takes it down quite a bit once you start doing that. Down to 7 weeks now, and down to 5 weeks in fact. Now we've just got 50s left. So that's all the frame people on there. So it's going to take 5 weeks to do. So if we put everybody on there, the absolute minimum is 3 weeks. But we'll have a look and see who's not doing anything. Actually, apparently they are all doing something. It doesn't say either. None of them are actually not affecting it. So we'll leave it then. We'll put that down to 3 weeks. Obviously it won't be for too long. So we'll head into the winter tests now. Hopefully this episode hasn't been too long so far. Obviously there's been a lot of sorting out to do with the Moto3 Junior Team. And obviously just going through the rider lineup changes. That's why it's taken a while to do this season, by the way, because I had to do all that rider transfer stuff. Obviously it is a mod. So we'll head into the winter tests now then, and hopefully we can get straight gelled with the Suzuki. So here we are then in sunny Sepang here for the winter test this season. So this season I'm actually going to be upgrading the bike from the beginning of the season. I want to try and make the bike as good as we can. So then, we've obviously got 3 packs to pick from, same as last year. So we've got pack 1 here, that's best stability, slow fuel delivery. Pack 2, bang in the middle of the engine, but goes for agility over stability. And then pack 3 goes for absolute performance and agility as well. So we'll either really like pack 1 or we really won't. But obviously I'm much more in the zone with MotoGP now. I've done so many more races and things with the MotoGP bikes than I had at this point in the last season. So hopefully we'll be on the pace straight away. We'll head straight out then, and we'll try and do the fastest lap we can. So it's looking very nice on this Suzuki. I must say, the Suzuki is going to be a pleasure to ride this season, I'm sure of it. I'm sure it'll be better than the KTM, although, to be honest, this bike not upgraded was the same skill as the KTM, I believe, so... And I mean my fully upgraded KTM. Well, it wasn't fully upgraded, but the upgrades I'd done over that second half of the season, that equated to just this bike at base performance, apparently, so... It's not going to be too great straight away in the season. We might struggle a little bit. Vinales has gone down there then, apparently right at the start of this session. Well, this test, isn't it, really? Hitting the brakes, and who's coming out the pits in front of us? It is Brad Binder, so no rider change there, just the normal game so far. But hopefully Binder will be a little bit quicker this season. Obviously the KTM's really struggled, except myself, of course. Well, in fact, I did really struggle. It was just more of a case of I could pull it together when I needed to. So I'm in Power Mode 2 here. I probably don't want to be in Power Mode 2. So personal best in the first sector. Then Marc Marquez has now gone down as well, so I think it's a bit of a bug where there's loads of crashes in the pre-season testing for whatever reason. There was last season as well, so many crashes for seemingly no reason. Francesco Bagnaia crashes as well. So through turn 6, slide in the rear end. Down the straight towards this right-hander. Turn 7. Through turn 8. Down the straight towards turn 9, hitting the brakes at the Michelin board, so we're closing up to Brad Binder in front of us. This bike doesn't feel great, I'll be honest. It doesn't feel that stable on the front end, it feels just quite stiff. So we'll have to have a look at that. I don't think, obviously it's not very agile, this one was going for stability, whereas this just feels really, really stiff on the front, which I don't particularly like. I'd rather the bike move a little bit more and just be a bit more agile, to be honest. So there we go, through 13 then. We've not closed that much up to Binder, unfortunately. So that kind of shows the lap's not going to be great. 31 then in that sector. Binder's actually getting away from a bit of a wheelie. Obviously we will have to work on the anti-wheelie and stuff again. Obviously once we'd upgraded that, it hadn't been a problem at all in the KTM, but it will be here. We're closing up to Binder a lot into this last corner. We've hit Binder at the back. We've definitely picked up some damage from that. We've absolutely nerfed Binder off. Completely misjudged my braking zone. That's what a rookie move for a world champion, really. But here we go on the exit, getting the slipstream off of Binder up towards the line, 2 minute point 8, so that's 3rd place. That is the best on this pack so far. But that's not that fast, that's pretty slow, so we do need to try to up this pace if we can. Just the whole thing just doesn't feel all too fast, if I'm honest. Francesco Bagnaia had a crash again, so that's 2 crashes for Bagnaia so far. So many crashes going on in this session. Same with Viñales, that's his 2nd crash of the session too. So we're 2 tenths underneath my time in the first sector, so we are going a little bit quicker on this lap. Obviously with the tyres being a bit more temperature, that is always good, but obviously the tyres are getting really, really warm here at Malaysia. So if you remember last season we did the testing on hard rear tyres, but this time I've done them on softs, purely because it doesn't really matter, so it's just comparing the times really that we can do on these bikes. But to be honest, I'm not a big fan of this bike so far. It feels quite cumbersome. We're still 2 tenths underneath. Hopefully we can try and find some more time around the rest of this lap. So still 2 tenths underneath, so we're only about 2 tenths quicker on this lap. Iker Lecuona, my previous teammate, has fallen off there. So not taking to being the number 1 in that team too well. So we go into the last corner then, turn 15, try and pivot the bike and power it out. That is the best way to try and exit that corner in my opinion. As we come up towards the line then, what's the time going to be? 1:59, 2 minute 0.5, so 3 tenths quicker. But that's still currently 4th place, so we'll head back to the pits then now and we'll try out the 2nd pack. Malicious Bagro has gone down. There's so many crashes going on. And there's Paulus Bagro behind us on the new Repsol Honda. So over the line then to start this 2nd run with the 2nd pack. Hitting the brakes for the first quarter. It does feel a little heavy still, I'm not going to lie. Perhaps a little better, but yeah, the bike really not feeling great, which is not good for the season. But obviously we are going to be upgrading straight away, and we've put a frame upgrade on already. But this bike was meant to be as good as a KTM, and it actually feels a little worse so far. But we are 3 tenths quicker in the first sector, so it does seem like Pack 2 is a bit better already. 7 tenths underneath in the 2nd sector, so we're taking a lot of time out of the Pack 1 time. 1.2 quicker now. Yeah, this Pack 2 feels so much better now. The tyres are up to temperature than Pack 1. Pack 1 felt horrible. Oh, but that was a mistake on that curb. We definitely would have lost a bit of time to the time there on the exit of that corner. Iker Lecuona has gone down again. So the same AI just seems to be crashing over and over again. So up towards the line then, what's this one going to be? 1:59.5, so that takes us up to 5th in this session. 1 second quicker. I think we've probably still got a bit more time on the table. So we're 10th away in the first sector. 3 tenths away then on this lap, so this lap has not been as well ridden. I think the tyres are starting to suffer now. Nearly half a second down now, so we really are much slower on this lap. So coming up towards the line, and Jorge Martin's gone down off the Pramac Ducati. But we're 6 tenths off the fastest time then in the end, at the end of that run. So we'll head back in and we'll have a look at pack number 3. So as we come up towards the line then, to start this run on pack number 3, hopefully we can go to the top of the timesheets with this one, because I'd like to end the session top if I can. I've gone in way too hot into the first corner and the bike does not pivot well. That is definitely a problem with this bike, it's not pivoting very well. So we're 10th and a half underneath in the first sector, so it's still an improvement. So 13 thousandths away in this sector, and Johan Zarco's just crashed in front of us there. I didn't actually realise he was right ahead of us until I saw the bike tumbling. So we're 6 tenths away in this sector, so we're losing a lot of time here. We were quickest in the first sector. We are actually struggling to get a decent lap together in this test session. So over the line then, half a second away, but not too far off the previous time we did. So 3 tenths away in this first sector. So 8 thousandths away from the best time, I think that is then, in the second sector, where it is the personal best. So we're a 10th away then in this sector, so not quite as good once again. So here we go then, coming up towards the line at the end of this lap. What's it going to be? 59.2, so a 10th away from the top of the timesheet. So unfortunately, we weren't quite fastest there. I think it is actually slower than what we did on the KTM last year, which is actually quite unfortunate. So we'll head back to the pits then. I think we'll end off the test there. Well, the session is a bit of a weird one. Alex Marquez currently fastest on the LCR Honda ahead of Dovizioso second then. Myself third, Quartararo in 4th place. Marquez all the way down in 7th, so Marquez struggled a little bit, although it's a very, very close grid if you have a look. The times are all extremely close. So then the fastest sector times all came on Pack 2 or Pack 3. So Pack 1 is definitely out of the question there then. And the fastest lap was on Pack 3, so I think I am going to go for Pack 3, which went for the better engine, so it would make more sense that it was a bit quicker, because we gained all that time in the last sector. The average time was better as well, So I'm going to go for pack 3 then for this season. So we've got one notification then on the technical staff management. Alberto Fernandez applying. Really bad on the engine, but really good on the frame, so we'll leave that for now. But that's where we'll end off this video then. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that first episode of this new season. So setting up the Moto3 team, doing the preseason test, going through all the rider lineup changes. I hope you guys will enjoy what I've got in store. I'll be sort of messing with the performances of the AI and stuff to make the grids a little bit more compact, a bit closer, so it should be some good racing going into this season then. But like I said, I hope you did enjoy that video. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.